It's a 3-day workshop on species-specific diagnosis for selected laboratory technologists around Nigeria. Of the 17 neglected tropical diseases listed by the World Health Organization, this training focused on trypanosomiasis or sleeping sickness caused by the tsetsefly insect vector and how it threatens livestock development, particularly cattle.
We want to see how we can educate the participants on how to collect samples from the field to the lab and correctly identify. You see, there are different types of trypanosoma. There's one called Evansi, there's one called Trypanosoma gambiense, there's one called rhodesiense. So with this technique, the technique will tell us what we are looking at is congolense. So the technique will differentiate this congolense from other trypanosomiasis or other trypanosoma. The basic thing we are talking about is that we want to see how best can we correctly identify the pathogen that is causing this one that infects cattle.
Previously, we use microscopy to identify the tsetsefly, and even if you take blood samples, you will be able to see the organism in the blood specimen when you observe under the microscope. But in some situations, you have low level. That is, the amount of this organism in the bloodstream is so small. So you may take a large number of blood samples, spread it on the microscope, you'll not be able to see it. So the molecular technique allows you to be able to see, even if it's just one, you can be able to extract the DNA from that single one, and that will allow you to be able to identify this organism.
The scientists say farmers must be carried along as new techniques in agriculture development and management emerge if the country wants to boost its strategy for food security.
The larger part of the productive sector of the populace in terms of food production is their farmers. And the farmers are the ones that live in the rural areas where this tsetsefly finds are actually widely distributed, cause infection in the human being. The person will no longer be productive because gradually his productivity will decrease. He becomes ill. Eventually, in some cases, he goes into coma and eventually die.
What we want to do is to increase the critical mass of molecular biologists in the country. We want them to have the hands-on training. We don't want to come and do a demo where they can't go back and replicate what they have learned here.
Neglected tropical diseases are a group of diseases that generally affect the poor in developing countries. In sub-Saharan Africa, which include Nigeria, both the human and animal variants of the sleeping sickness disease have been a great obstacle. Vivienne, Irikefe, News.